From the National Newsroom of the Canadian Press, I'm John Kennedy. Canadians are going to wake up to new and uncertain world after U.S. President Donald Trump's deadline for economy-wide tariffs passed overnight, triggering a continental trade war. Trump's executive order puts 25% across-the-board tariffs with a 10% lower levy on Canadian energy in place as of midnight Eastern Time. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau says in a statement that Canada is ready to respond with its own 25% tariffs on $155 billion worth of American goods. He says the retaliatory tariffs will remain in place until the United States ceases its tariff attack. U.S. President Donald Trump's long-threatened tariffs against Canada and Mexico are in effect, and the administration says it's enacting 20% tariffs on imports from China as well. Reporter Elizabeth Schulze is in Washington with details about the change.
This is a sweeping set of tariffs on the biggest trading partners of the United States. So what we're talking about here is 25% tariffs on all imports from Mexico, 25% tariffs on all imports from Canada, with a lower 10% rate on Canadian oil, and then also an additional tariff on imports from China. That's in addition to the tariffs that already took effect on China earlier this month.
China announced today that it will impose additional tariffs of up to 15% on imports of key U.S. farm products. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau spoke with King Charles about Canada's sovereign future as U.S. President Donald Trump continues to posture that Canada should become the 51st United State. Trudeau was in London over the weekend for a security summit on how to ensure a possible Ukraine ceasefire actually holds. Analysts believe that Trudeau's visit was also to maintain Canada's role in the transatlantic alliance, as Trump continues to pull back from NATO and blames Ukraine for the invasion of its own country. Pope Francis is back on a ventilator at a Rome hospital. The Vatican says the Pope had another setback in his recovery, and reporter Terry Morgan has those details.
This is more significant language. Acute respiratory failure caused by a significant accumulation of mucus in the lungs that required 2 bronchoscopies to clear abundant secretion. So his lungs are struggling.
Francis isn't physically active and uses a wheelchair and is also classified as overweight. He's been undergoing respiratory physiotherapy to try and improve his lung function. And Jimmy Johnson has announced his retirement from Fox Sports after being a part of the NFL coverage team for 31 years. The 81-year-old Johnson says he's been thinking about retiring for the last 4 to 5 years. As a coach, he won consecutive Super Bowls with the Dallas Cowboys and college football national championships with Miami in 1987. This is the Canadian Press. In sports, Canadian Shai Gilgeous-Alexander scored 51 points, and the Oklahoma City Thunder defeated the visiting Houston Rockets 137-128. It's the 50th win of the NBA season for the team. Gilgeous-Alexander reached 50 points for the 4th time this season, all in past 7 weeks. Steph Curry had 21 points and 10 assists in his annual homecoming game, and the Golden State Warriors pulled away in the second half to defeat the Charlotte Hornets 119-101 in their 6th win of 7 NBA games. Serena Williams is joining ownership group for the WNBA's Toronto Tempo. Williams is one of the greatest singles players in tennis history and will play an active role in the expansion club's jersey design. Williams is also the latest former pro athlete to join a WNBA ownership group. From the Canadian Press, I'm John Kennedy.
Thanks for listening. Don't forget to follow and subscribe. For more of today's top stories, visit thecanadianpressnews.ca.